Arsenal pick up all 3 points with a victory away at Brighton. What does it mean at the top of the Premier League table? Well, Arsenal right now holding a 1-point lead over Liverpool, who of course are at Old Trafford to face Manchester United on Sunday, also with a 1-point lead over Manchester City. What a race we've got going on. Jules, after the game, Kai Havertz said that he was proving the haters wrong.
All right.
Is he right?
Yeah, he also said, like, that's for you, Craig Burley, I think. But we didn't put that in the notes, and they didn't show that to you. No, I'm kidding. I mean, he's been in great form since the turn of the year, since the November international break, really. I think I looked since February 17, so mid-February, nobody in the Premier League has more goal involvement than him. Goals and assists together. He's gone on 9. Cole Palmer is on 8 behind, and then the others. But nobody's been as effective as him when it comes to goals, scoring or assisting. He's been great. The fact that, remember, he was signed to play as an 8 to replace Xhaka, that kind of experiment didn't really work out. However, him as a 9 and not really playing as a typical 9, really, but him playing in that position has been working great for Arsenal for the last few weeks.
He's doing what Chelsea thought they were buying. What he's doing for Arsenal is what Chelsea thought they were getting when they initially signed him. That's what.
So we giving Arteta credit for that?
Absolutely. Why?
He was getting hammered for the signing 3-4 months ago.
Why did he sign him?
Be kind of a tweener player that he can rotate around the front.
No, he signed him to play in the middle of the park. He signed him to play as part of the 3 on the left-hand side. That's why he signed him. Now, of course, on top of that, when you're signing him, you're going, well, if we have any injuries, if we have suspensions, this guy can play up top. So I'm not ready to give Arteta anything because he didn't sign him to play centre forward. But the fact is, when he signed for Chelsea, we all said he was a good player. We all said that we thought he would be the answer. He would knit everything together. He would get his fair share of goals. He would be this guy. As I said, he's doing for Arsenal now what Chelsea thought they were buying. But it turns out a little bit of a fluke's the wrong word. But I'm not so sure Arteta bought this guy to play where he's playing right now.
We're going to have to check the tape on that. I don't know that everybody was saying such nice things about
You're saying
Kai
that he
Havertz.
has stumbled into a solution.
Aye.
Okay.
Well, the thing is, it's given him a problem because I think most of us would suggest that up until about a couple of months ago, we're thinking Arsenal needs to buy a centre forward.
Yes.
So it's kind of given him a problem. You know, do we save 100 million on going and getting somebody like Osimhen and think that this is the finished article? This is what Havertz is going to be for the rest of his days?
Do you think this is what Havertz is going to be for the rest of his days?
Well, I don't, because I don't think you can trust it. It's a great spell, but right now it's a spell. If he does this between now and the end of the season and keeps producing these numbers, then I think you might change your mind.
What about the penalty, Ale? Stevie didn't think it was one, did you?
I don't think it's a penalty either. And I suppose what the referee is looking at is the momentum of Lamptey is taking him into Gabriel Jesus. But he's making a challenge on the ball, makes a swing at the ball, and actually makes contact with the ball. Now, the follow-through ends up making contact with Gabriel Jesus. You could also argue that Gabriel Jesus is actually coming into Lamptey and actually generating that contact. Now, I don't know, I wouldn't go as far as to say what Stevie was saying, that if you have the ball, then it negates everything. I don't think everything, it's sort of, the totality of everything, I think it's a little too much.
Yeah, you break somebody's leg on a follow-through, we'll probably see something. Right?
But I will say that in a challenge in which you are actually making an attempt to get the ball, and you actually do get the ball, then what else are you supposed to do as a defender? And that's the part that I think it's confusing to me. I understand. I suppose that I'm putting myself in the position of the referee, and he's seeing the challenge, and he's seeing that in the follow-through there is contact with Gabriel Jesus. But we're ignoring a very critical part of it all, and that is the fact that Lamptey actually gets a touch on the ball and does what a defender is supposed to do, which is win the ball.
I personally don't blame the referee because live it looked like a penalty. It looked like a classic drop the shoulder, past the defender, he catches you, penalty kick. So I don't blame the referee. However, surprise, surprise, you've got to look at the VAR because the VAR gets to look at it and the VAR absolutely can see that Lamptey gets a piece of the ball.
Jules, where do you come down on this?
Yeah, I'm a bit like the boys. I was a bit watching you on television. I was a bit in between. I think the VAR and the referee, PGMOL and all of that, saying that, yes, there was contact on the ball from Lamptey, but not enough to change enough the trajectory of the ball. I think what they mean is if there's not a foul behind, Gabriel Jesus still can get the ball and continue his run in the box. And I think that's what they saw. I think it may be a bit harsh, but if you look at the Brighton players, they don't really appeal. I mean, Dunn goes towards the referee. Even Lamptey doesn't really appeal that much. De Zerbi neither. So I don't know. Maybe even the players saw it differently. I was a bit in between. I won't lie.
Jules,
I didn't think it was a stonewall penalty.
I think that's only because live it looks like a penalty. Jules, I think the fact that everybody's not sure. I mean, when you see it live, as I said, it looks like a classic penalty. And that's probably why there wasn't so much coming from Brighton's end as far as complaint is concerned.
Well, the VAR there is going to see the contact, and once you see the contact...
Yeah, but you're ignoring the touch on the ball. And what I'll say about the touch on the ball...
We've seen it called that way for the last 5 years in football. If you follow through, you're liable for what happens in the follow-through.
I think.
I'll tell you what. Let's pack the game in. Let's forget the game then.
I think there's a difference there. The follow through. I think what you mean, Seb, is that you go and play the ball, but you go over in the top of the ball, and now all of a sudden you follow through, and in that challenge you end up committing the foul. In this case, the touch by Lamptey actually allows the trailing defender who was coming in support to be involved in the play. So what Jules is saying, and the explanation of the PGMOL. Did I get that right, PGMOL?
Yeah, Pigmole.
Okay, all right. And their explanation loses validity and veracity because guess what? There is a supporting player that can now get into the play because the touch of the ball actually pops the ball up and it allows him enough time to now get into a position where he can challenge. And Gabriel Jesus is not wide open going towards goal at this point. So, look, I think the touch is significant enough to where you've done your job as a defender. You've slowed down the attacking player. Yes, in the follow-through, you can make the argument that, of course, there is a challenge of Lamptey that makes contact with Gabriel Jesus. But you can also make the argument, and I'm a striker, and I'm making this argument, that Gabriel Jesus is going into Lamptey trying to draw a foul as well. And once you get lost in that conversation, you lose sight of the most obvious thing. Lamptey got the ball.
And that's why, forever and a day, the contact of the ball from the defender has always been the key.
Regardless, by the way, Arsenal were much better than Brighton. This is not why they win the game.
I'm glad it wasn't 1-0.
Exactly, yeah. In the end, it didn't make a difference as Arsenal picked up all 3 points with an impressive 3-0 victory. As we take a look at the updated Premier League title odds. Jules, Arsenal right now, 4 games in a row without conceding. They're rolling right along. I mean, this team is playing as well as anybody, aren't they?
Yeah, they're great. They're great away from home as well. They have the best attack. They have the best defense. They have the best expected goals, for and against, all of that if you want. All the stats really are very good. But the fact is, the only team that have their own destiny in their own hands is Liverpool. It's just, this is the way it is. I mean, now we look at the table, but the table is not right because they have a game to play tomorrow. But like Guardiola said after last weekend, the team that is in front, the team that is 2 points clear of second and 3 of third, is the favourite. They have to be, and you can look at the schedule and home games, away games, and even that, I think, slightly favours Liverpool over the other two. Yes, Arsenal are playing great. Yes, they've been playing really good for some time, for most of the season, really. But it's all in Liverpool's hands, really. And unless they drop points, whether it's tomorrow or later or whatever, but if they don't drop points, they will win the league. So they are the favourite. They are the favourite because they're top of the table ahead of everybody else.